All right, welcome to episode number 3 of the ConquerMe podcast. Today, we're going to be talking about the identity crisis that we're all having, how it's holding us back in a major, major way, and what we can do to fix it. I'm really excited about this episode because I believe it's going to be a game changer for those of you guys that listen, and it is something that we all deal with, is identity, right? And who are we? How do we see ourselves? And basically, our identity is just that. It's the way we see ourselves in the world that makes up our identity. And we have a couple different identities. And the challenge is these two identities are constantly competing for the spotlight. And how we show up and the results that we get in our life are going to largely depend on which identity wins most often. Now, the identities can be described like this. We have a conscious and a subconscious identity. And for most of us, they are massively out of alignment, which is causing us to fail. I want to look at each one of them individually. We're going to talk about them. We're going to get into to how they work, how they're made up, and then how we can bring them together to work more synergistically instead of being so opposed and kind of fighting each other, causing us to be in a constant state of identity crisis. So the first identity that you have is your conscious identity. This is the part of you that is driven, the part of you that has goals, that wants to be fit, that wants to be a great spouse and parent and friend. It's the identity that believes in yourself, that feels confident and sexy, the one that is always seeing the good in others and in the world around you. This identity, by default, wants to be good. It wants to be better. It wants to improve. It wants to make progress. Okay, now the other identity is called the subconscious identity. And for many of us, this identity is much different than the conscious identity. And there's a gap. This is the identity, the part of you that's made up of a massive collection of every single past trauma, failure, bad relationship, negative comment, hurtful situation. It's the programming that we've received from our parents, from TV, from social media, from years of negative self-talk. This identity, unlike the conscious identity, has no predisposition. It's a blank slate. It does and is whatever you tell it to do and be. It will believe it, and it'll go to work to attract those things into your life. Okay, so we often notice this kind of gap or this disconnect when we try to operate from our conscious identity, because no matter how hard we try to be positive or to follow through, there's always this nagging little voice that tells us to do the opposite. So when we try to be kind to ourselves and we try to set goals and we try to do things that will move us forward in life, this little voice encourages us to go back to what's most comfortable. And this is your subconscious identity, because we've programmed this identity over time to shy away from things that could be uncomfortable or cause pain. We've basically programmed it throughout our entire life to take the safe route. So think of this. Here's a good example. Maybe you get all excited over the weekend and you're going to start a new workout program, and day one is Monday. We're going to start Monday. We're all fired up. It's Monday. But then when Monday rolls around, it's time to work out. We hear something that says, come on, man, like, you really want to do this right now? You got tons of work to do. Just knock out your workout later. You can get it later. Maybe you need to have a tough conversation with your spouse or a coworker or someone else in your life that's causing, disruption, and it's time to have the conversation, and you talk yourself up, and now you're getting ready to go into the conversation. And that same little voice jumps in and says, you know what? You probably shouldn't do this. It's probably going to hurt. You probably should just hold on to the resentment for a little bit longer and just let it work itself out. This is your subconscious identity, which I also like to call my bitch voice, that's doing everything it can to keep me in my comfort zone, because that's the way I've programmed it over the years and over the course of my life. Now, here's the cool thing, though. Our subconscious identity can be reprogrammed to match our conscious identity, and when they work together in harmony, it will help us to create the life that we've always dreamed of living. And this is the secret weapon for those people that are really successful in life. They figured this out, and I want to teach this to you guys today, because it's been a game changer for me in my life, and I continue to press into this on a daily basis, and I just want you to get a hold of this, because I'm telling you, it can really make a massive difference in your life. So when you see people out there that are just fully activated, they're engaged, like they're all in on life, and it seems like no matter what they do, they're successful, they're happy, they're constantly getting new ideas and making new connections. It's because they've learned how to reprogram their subconscious mind, their subconscious identity, to align with their conscious identity, and it's allowing them to live their fullest expression of themselves and to have the success and the happiness and the joy that they want to have. Now, let's talk about how our identities even get out of alignment in the first place. So when we're born, it's important to understand that we're a blank slate. We have unbelievable God-given talents and gifts that we're supposed to be using while we're on this earth. The problem is, from the very second we enter into the world and we come out of the womb, we're starting to be programmed and we begin to take on the energy and the beliefs of those around us. So if there's a lot of fear and doubt and negativity, we start to kind of absorb that into our subconscious mind. And then if this continues over time, eventually we become a product of our environment. Now, fast forward doing this very same thing for 20 or 30 or 40 years, we may still be repeating these things that we heard, or doing the things that we saw, or taking on the beliefs that we took on at an early age as a young child, and it's become so ingrained and stamped into our subconscious mind that we believe it to be true. If we're born and we're told that we're not good enough and we're stupid, then our subconscious mind goes to work trying to show us that we're stupid. And every time we do bad on a test or we don't do something right, it goes, see, told you, stupid. See, told you, stupid. And the subconscious goes to work to continue to produce that result, which is being stupid, what we've told ourselves, right? So here's the danger in this. The subconscious mind, it's its job to do, feel, and believe whatever you tell it to do, feel, and believe. It has no bias. It has no prejudice. It doesn't matter if it's good or bad. It doesn't see negative or positive. It literally does whatever you tell it to do. It believes whatever you tell it to believe. So if you've been repeating things over and over and over that are negative, guess what? The subconscious believes it, and it'll set out to produce more evidence that it's true, and you'll continue to attract negativity into your life. So how do we begin to bring these identities in alignment? And this is what gets me so excited, because I'm telling you, it's possible. I believe it's meant to be. And the best way to do it is through self-talk. One of the most underrated things on the planet. So I want to do an exercise with you, and I think you'll find this really, really powerful. If you're listening to this, I want you to just grab a piece of paper if you can and write down some things. So I want you to start thinking about all the negative things that you've ever said to yourself. I'm fat. I'm stupid. I'm not good enough. I'm too slow. I'm too tall. I'm too short. I'm too old. I'm not lovable. Whatever it is, I'm not good at talking to people. I'm not good at remembering names. Whatever it is that you've said to yourself, I want you to write all these things out. And this is painful and this is a little bit negative, but we're going to turn the ship here in just a second. You can put me on pause and come back to this. I'll still be here, but I want you to do this exercise. And now, next, what I want you to do is I want you to think about the most precious person in your life. Maybe it's a child. You love this person more than anything or anyone you could ever love. You can't even understand how you could love someone more than you love this person. Now, I want you to take that list of things that you said to yourself, and I want you to imagine turning to that person. Don't actually do it, please. But I want you to imagine turning to that person, looking at them in the eyes and telling them those same things. You're fat. You're stupid. You're unlovable. You're not good enough. You're never going to make it. You always quit. You're never going to be a success. Would you do that? Of course you wouldn't. I don't even think you would look your enemy in the eye and tell them some of these things that are this hurtful. But yet we talk to ourselves this way every single day, and we replay these things over and over and over in our mind, and our subconscious continues to absorb them and go to work to make those things your reality. So we have got to stop this today. If you want to go to a different level in life and you want to break some old patterns and break the chains and bondage of things that are negative in your life, we've got to start seeing ourselves a different way, and we've got to reprogram our subconscious mind to then go to work to do the things and produce the results that we actually want. But the only way that we're going to be able to do that is if we give it very clear instructions. And until this point, the instructions that it's been given have been producing the results that you've been getting. So if you're not happy, if you're dealing with anxiety, if you're overweight, if your finances are not in order, if your relationships suck, it's because you've programmed your subconscious mind to produce that result. And I'm telling you, it's that powerful and it's that important. This is not some like woo-woo, magical, mystical thing. It's scientific and it's factual and it's true. And if you talk to the most successful people out there, they figured this out. It's a common thread and a common theme with the most successful people. They've learned how to reprogram their subconscious to be in alignment with their conscious mind so that they can produce the results that they want to produce. You don't see really successful people walking around, hee-hawing around and feeling sorry for themselves. And like, you just don't. They're positive, they're upbeat, they're consuming positive things, they're speaking positive things. So here's how we're going to do it, guys. Here's how we're going to reprogram our subconscious mind. We're going to surround ourselves with positive influences. We're going to cut out all the negative bullshit that's in our lives. We're going to tell the people that come around and they always cry and moan about how life is, we're going to tell them to take a back seat and they need to get on another bus. Like, you can't be around those people anymore. You have to love those people from a distance. You got to shut the news off. If you're still watching the news, for crying out loud, and you want to do better and be better in your life, I'm here to tell you right now that it is the worst use of your time that you could possibly be doing. Engaging in news is not going to get you where you want to go. Engaging in negative, following people that are negative on social media is not going to get you where you want to go. These things are implanting negativity on your subconscious mind. It's doom and gloom. It's all about getting clicks. And not half of it, the majority of it is not true anyway. What benefit are you actually going to get by watching the news and hearing one side talk about Trump and hearing the other side talk about Biden and the wars and the famine and the disease and the viruses and all the other stuff that really, if you just sit down and you look around, you're not really being affected by it that much, and there's not much you can do about it. The only thing that we can control and do is our daily actions and our mindset, the way that we choose to show up mentally and with our actions. And watching the news or following negative people is not going to make us more productive in those areas. So my challenge to you would be to take an honest inventory of where you're at and who you're surrounded and what you're surrounded by. What are you listening to? What are you watching? What are you consuming? What words are entering into your mind and through your ears? What things are you saying to yourself over and over and over again? And we're going to start challenging those things. If you're not reading, you're not listening to podcasts, which obviously, hopefully you are listening to this one and you're finding value in it and it's creating a more positive environment for you, you're either growing or you're dying. You're either taking in negativity or you're taking in positivity. And whatever you're taking in is what's programming your subconscious mind. And whatever you're programming your subconscious mind with is the results that you're going to get in your life. Okay, so your natural, God-given desires is to be ethical, hardworking, positive, successful. And the better we get at aligning our identities, the conscious and the subconscious, the easier it'll become to live out these desires and to live the way that we were created to live. Subconscious is a super powerful tool. And when it's used correctly, it's a secret weapon to happiness and success, but it takes some work to reprogram it, especially if you spent years programming it to work against you, right? So in my case, some of you guys know my story if you listen to the past podcasts or you know me personally. I was addicted to drugs. I was in some really bad relationships. I was around a lot of negativity, a lot of bad environments. Guess what? I had plenty of programming of my subconscious mind that was not serving me. It was hindering me. And I couldn't figure out that no matter how hard I tried to be positive or how hard I tried to do better or how hard I tried to get in shape or how hard I tried to excel in different areas of my life, I couldn't seem to do it. It's like it kept falling apart. But then when I take an honest inventory, it's because I was continually in the back of my mind looping those old things like, this is not going to work out. It never works out for you. It's always going to be bad, blah, 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 blah. And as a result, guess what? That's what was coming to the surface. That's what I was attracting into my life. And so I want to give you some action steps, some things that I've done and am currently doing. And if I took you around my office right now, you could see that there are things posted all over my office, just as I'm about to advise you to do, that are helping me to overcome those self-limiting beliefs and reprogram my subconscious mind so that I can live in a more powerful and productive way. And it's been a game changer for me. And I want to invite you to do these same things. It's really simple. So I want you to write down, I want you to look at your list of all the negative things that you've said to yourself, that you say to yourself on a daily basis, or that you've said to yourself in the past. And I want you to create a new list. And I want you to write down the opposite to each one of those things. So if you tell yourself all the time that you're fat, I want you to say, I'm lean, sexy, and confident. If you say to yourself all the time that you're not worth it, I want you to say, I am God's creation, and his plan for me is even greater than the plans that I have for myself. Whatever those affirmations need to be, and that's what these are, guys. These are called affirmations, and they're affirming the things that we want in our life, and we're reprogramming our subconscious mind, and we're building new neurological pathways that better support our goals and our dreams and our purpose and what our natural state is supposed to be. Okay, we're going to repeat these affirmations daily, and anytime a negative thought starts to surface, we're going to first acknowledge it. It's okay that it surfaces, but then we need to replace it with your new truth. We need to replace it with that affirmation. So I start my day out every single day with affirmations such as, I am powerful, I am positive, I am healthy, I am wealthy, I am smart, I'm a great leader, I have an amazing, thriving business that impacts people in a positive way every single day. People are attracted to me. Money and wealth comes my way from every direction. I am full of energy. I go on and on and on about these things that I want to believe and feel about myself. And every day that goes by that I say these things, I'm starting to believe and feel this way about myself more and more and more and more. And as I do, I start to take different actions. And those different actions lead to different habits and different routines that lead to better results in my life. Okay, I was once addicted and broken and helpless and hopeless and had a welfare mentality. And I'm certainly not where I want to be. And I've got a lot to learn and a long way to go, but I'm not where I used to be. And I'm really excited to be in a much better spot. And these tools that I'm giving you guys, this particular one right now, working with, not against the subconscious mind, is one of the most powerful things that I've ever been able to do to move me forward. I've gotten the most mileage out of this particular thing than anything else that I've ever done to improve myself, right? So we're going to write down these things, these affirmations, and we're going to post them everywhere. We're going to put them on your mirror. We're going to write them on sticky notes and put them all over your car. We're going to put them at the office. We're going to surround ourselves with these words and these ideas that are positive. And we're going to recite them and look at them and read them and think about them. And every time a negative comment comes up or a negative thought comes up, we're going to look at the opposite of that and we're going to repeat it 4 or 5 times. No, I am happy. I am healthy. I am wealthy. No, I feel amazing. I am lean. I am sexy. I am confident. So that's the first thing. The second thing is, I want you to look in the mirror every morning. This seems really weird and it's going to be uncomfortable, but I want you to look at yourself in the mirror and I want you to talk to yourself. And I want you to say, Jay, I love you. Don't say Jay, say your own name. But the way I would do it is I was look in the mirror, look myself dead in the eyes and say, Jay, I love you. I love you, Jay. Jay, I love you. I love you because you're confident. I love you because you're a lover. I love you because you're a helper. I love your heart. I love the fact that you're disciplined. I love that you continue to show up for your family. I love that you're an amazing dad and an amazing husband. I love that you're an incredible leader. Like, I love you. I love you. I love you, Jay. Jay, I love you. It's uncomfortable just listening to this probably, right? It's uncomfortable for me to say it. I'm working through this. But the more we do this, the more we begin to believe it. And imagine, what if we really, really loved ourselves? Would we continue to allow negative news to stain and put a cancer on our brain? Would we continue to allow terrible foods to poison our bodies? If we really, really loved ourselves, would we be in relationships that aren't serving us, that are abusive? Probably not. Would we allow our body to be fat and unhealthy and toxic? Probably not. Right? So imagine the power of this. If we really got to a place where we sincerely loved ourselves and our subconscious mind was primed to produce the things that we actually want in life and was in alignment with our conscious identity, how powerful this would be. And so if you're listening to this, I hope that you got something out of it, and I hope that you'll take the time to do this exercise, and I hope that you'll, at the very least, understand and become aware that your words matter and your thoughts matter. And if you don't get control of your words and your thoughts, and you don't get control of the external influences that you're having that are coming your way and that are surrounding you and that are influencing the way that you think and the way that your subconscious mind is being programmed, I want you to get that at the very least, okay? And if you take action on it, that's even better. You start to move in a different direction, I'm telling you, it'll be life-changing. The people that I work with in my ConquerMe coaching program, this is all the things that we're focusing on, and these are things that make the difference. This is not a fitness program where we talk about meal plans and exercise, because here's the reality, guys. You can have the best fitness program, you can have the best exercise, you can have the best meal plan, you can follow whatever diet or whatever guru, but if your subconscious mind is not right, you can throw at it whatever you want to throw at it, and you're going to continue to go back to where you came from. You can have the best meal plan in the world, but if your subconscious believes that you're fat, then it's going to do everything that it has to do to keep you fat. And so you're not going to stick to that meal plan. You're not going to stick to that workout routine. So we've got to fix this first. So with my clients, a big piece of feedback that I get when we go through the process of starting to become aware is they say, man, I never even realized that I was talking that way. I never even realized that I was thinking that way. I never realized that I said try so much. I'm going to try to be there. I'm going to try to do it. I'm going to try to follow through. I say, whoa, stop saying try. Are you going to try or are you going to do it? Are you committed to following through or are you going to try? Because whatever you tell your subconscious mind, it's going to believe and it's going to produce results that are going to be in alignment with that. So if you're just trying, your subconscious mind said, my job is to try, it's not to do. And so it's going to put all these obstacles in your way or allow all these obstacles to be in your way that would allow you to get away with trying. But if you say, I'm committed to doing this, all of a sudden the subconscious mind goes to work trying to figure out how it's going to get the end result, which is you doing this, you following through on your commitment. Simply changing the way you phrase something and your language could really have a massive impact on the way that your subconscious mind is programmed and then what outcomes you get in life. So guys, I hope you get the point. Your subconscious is very important. You are going through an identity crisis at all times, and I'll leave you with this. Some people think of it like as an angel and a devil on the shoulder, or they think of it as like an alter ego or two different personalities, or in what I'm describing as two different identities. In order to get these in alignment, for one, you have to start speaking differently. You have to start getting different external influences in your life. You got to cut out the negative bullshit and start to look for things that are more positive. But the other way is to constantly go against what the subconscious mind tells you to do. And I refer to it as the bitch voice. When it's time to work out and you know that your conscious identity wants to be a person that values working out and does it consistently, and your subconscious says, no, you don't want to do that, you better do it. Because if you don't do it, all you're doing is further solidifying your subconscious and you're letting that identity win. If it's time to have the tough conversation, you better have the tough conversation. So whatever your subconscious mind tells you not to do, because it wants to keep you in your comfort zone, you need to realize that what you actually want in life is literally just on the other side of that comfort. And so when it's telling you to do something for the sake of comfort, I need you to do the opposite. If it's telling you to go to the gym or not to go to the gym, I need you to go to the gym. If it's telling you not to listen to this podcast, I need you to finish listening to this podcast. If it's telling you not to have a good conversation, a tough conversation with your spouse, I need you to have the conversation with your spouse. Whatever it tells you not to do, you're going to do the opposite. And the more you do that, the more you will start to see a bigger prevalence of your conscious identity, and your subconscious will begin to be reprogrammed and will get in alignment, and you'll be unstoppable. Thanks so much for listening to this episode. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you'll leave us a 5-star review and share it and help us to get the word out. I appreciate the support, and I look forward to seeing you on the next episode. Thanks.